Hey folks, I was just responding to one of your comments on one of my last videos. Someone made the point, I've never had a bad Grote Hollow Body. I think it was in response to my budget brand video that I put out a day or so ago. And as it just happens, as I was reading the comment, UPS was just dropping off this, which is a Grote Hollow Body. So instead of doing the setup and then the video, and I've done this guitar before, maybe not this color, but this particular brand model. So instead of doing my usual thing, I thought I would just show it to you right out of the box. I just literally unpacked it. I'm going to spare you the unpacking video because I hate those. And just talk about things to deal with right off the bat. All right, so I got it. Slightly out of tune, obviously. Strings are detuned. When I tune it up, you immediately get that impression of tuning instability and intonation being off. A couple of reasons for this. Firstly, stretch your strings. Fret in the first fret and go up and down and stretch them. And then stretch them against the nut. All of them. Alright, stretch them out. All the way up and down. You may break one. It's okay. Stretch them out. Really good. Especially all of them. Okay, when you stretch them out really good, you go up and down the neck, it's going to be out of tune. So retune. Notice I'm not plugging this in yet. You won't hear stuff if you plug it in right away. So play it acoustically. What am I hearing on that D chord? I'm hearing rattling. Now it doesn't sound like a fret or a nut rattle. It sounds like something up in the hardware. So I look up here and I can see there is a little bit of splintering where the hole was drilled out, and they didn't clean that up. So that's one issue. Little splinter of wood there. There it goes. It's off. I hear it right here, and it is a pickguard issue. So either this nut that holds in the pickguard holder is not all the way in, your screws aren't tight, you've got something loose between the arm here and the pick guard. So that's buzz number one. I can also hear a really dead string here, which could just be a dead string, although I think because it doesn't intonate well, it sounds sharp. Hear that? I think that this nut slot's too shallow, so I'm going to have to do some nut work right away. More buzzing there, that's that pickguard issue. Yeah, the higher strings are not intonating properly on the first fret because the nut is cut too shallow or it's too high. So that's going to need to be done. Then when I look down the neck, I can see that it's pretty straight, really straight. So it's probably not got enough relief in it as well. When I go down the fretboard, or as Phil McKnight likes to do with his stockings on, I don't feel too much sharp, one or two up here. And it's often the case that you have sharper fret ends the more you go up the neck. However, I think in a day or two, when this is acclimatized, I'll feel more. So I'm not going to set this up today. I'm going to let it sit. Even though I have a humidified room here, I'm going to let it sit and acclimatize. It's not a good idea to let the guitar, to set up the guitar right out the box when it comes to you from another part of the world. I can also feel as I go up and down, not sharp fret ends, but a sizable distance between the wood portion and the plastic portion. That seam between the wood and the plastic is pronounced. Hear that? There's almost a lip on there. So that might correct. Probably won't though. Yeah, it might correct because the wood is exceeding the plastic. So when it shrinks in a day or two, it might become more level, but then I might have fret end issues. Looking at the frets, they don't look too bad. As I bend the notes, not bad. They could be polished up a little bit more, and I probably will do so, particularly up here for some reason. Let's plug it in. First of all, I check the toggle, make sure that I get the proper click, make sure that the housing is screwed in properly, and then I put all of the knobs on high, on full volume, before I plug it in. Also notice, just holding this, it's very matte, and the back almost feels unsanded. I can feel like pronounced grain on that, so it's really, really rough. You could do a light steel wheeling or sanding if you don't like that feel. It doesn't bother me that much. But anyway, those are the things that I learned from this before I plug it in. I also noticed that the bridge pickup is sitting very low compared to the neck pickup. Sorry, the other way around. The neck pickup's sitting very low compared to the bridge pickup. This is about a 1/4 inch from the strings, and this is a good 1/2 inch from the strings. So we may hear a bit of volume difference when we plug it in. And then I also don't plug it into an amp with effects. Not a good idea. Try it first in a dry amp with no effects and plain settings. Otherwise you're not going to hear issues. So there you go, straight into my Black Star Fly Free. Make sure it's working. All pickups. That's the bridge, middle position, and neck. I can hear intonation problems because of that nut issue at the neck. These are not the greatest tuners, but I don't think my tuning situation is 100% because of the tuners. I think I can get more stability out of these tuners just by refining that nut a little bit, and possibly even changing these strings. This A string sounds very dead compared to the rest. Listen to that ring, and listen to that A. So it's either being pinched somewhere or it's just a dead string. Could be part of the nut issue up here. So if you have your reverb and flange and all your effects on, you're not going to hear the guitar and the issues of the guitar. So plug it into a dry signal first thing when you're checking through it for the first time, and you'll hear the issues. I can hear that A string choking. I think probably this needs new strings, but I also think that I have a definite nut issue at the top. I also, when I intonate all the way up, feel different tension rates under my finger, and I think it's because, I mean, it sounds all right, but I think it's because it's absolutely flat, even a hair overbowed or backbowed. So I know there's not enough relief in this neck. So when I put the relief in the neck, I'm going to have to redo the string heights, because the string heights are already a touch too high. Looks to me about 5-6 millimeters on the low E from the 12th fret. Needs to be around 4. So when I put the proper relief in the neck, that's going to go up even more, a touch more. So I know I'm going to have to adjust the bridge here, and I can see I've got enough to come down, but it's going to put it pretty close to the bottom of the bridge pins. So it's going to be okay, but there's not a whole lot of adjustment room, so it's just barely going to make it. Also, when I take that action down, I'm also going to have to lower the height of the pickup here, because it's going to be sitting right on top of it. So before I've even taken a file or a screwdriver to the guitar, I can discern all of these issues right away. I'm glad it works. I'm glad the neck's not horribly warped. I'm glad that you have enough room in the bridge to make the proper adjustments. Also, let's hear the intonation. Okay, it's sharp, so the bridge saddles are going to have to come back a little bit, at least on that high E. That's better. That one's a little sharp as well. That one is a touch sharp. So the saddles are not towards the end of their trajectory, so I see I have enough room to pull these back. So far, this is a keeper. It's going to take some work. I'm already looking about an hour's work. I can see already. But I know that I've got enough room, first of all, to correct the string heights. If the truss rod works, it's not going to take very much to put the correct amount of relief into the neck. I know that I've got enough room in the saddles, going back and forth, to put the right amount of intonation points in. I know that I'm going to have to back off the pickup heights, but there's plenty of room to do so on that. And everything works. Tone, let's check out the horribly out of tune. First of all, put it in the right pickup. There's a volume for that pickup, and a volume for that pickup. And let's check our tone. That one works. That one works. So everything works. No issues with the electronics. Basic setup stuff. This actually is middle of the road. This is a guitar that's bang smack average as far as what I have to do to set it up. Now, a person's going to get this and return it. They will. There'll be plenty of new guitar players. They'll be frustrated. This is out of tune. It doesn't hold tune. And without even stretching the strings out or trying anything, they're going to return it. But there are plenty of other guitar players that will make the assessments I've just made and realize, hey, it's not perfect. I've got some work to do, but I can make this into a good guitar. And so some people will keep it. So it's right in that spot. You can already hear just how badly out of tune it is. I've tuned it twice. It's never going to be fully in tune when you intonate the frets because it's got an issue down here that's causing it to be off in the first few frets. So it's not going to sound right until you do some setup. And I guarantee you in a day or so I'm going to have to do some fret ends as well. I can already start feeling them right here. Just a little bit. But as this wood settles down, that's going to be more pronounced in a day or two, even with the binding. Folks, just because the neck is bound doesn't mean you're not going to get fret sprout. I don't know who put that out, but depends on the type of binding. But on a lot of these budget guitars, it's not going to stop a piece of metal protruding through if the wood shrinks. That's just physics. So, somebody like me will correct these issues, get it playing good, and it'll be fine. But if you're buying this to mod already, you're probably looking at the tuners because they're not the best. Even if we correct these other tuning issues and get good strings on it, you still might decide to switch these tuners out for something a little bit higher end because these are just your average tuners that are on just about every guitar these days, probably all made in the same place. And then depending on how fussy you are about pickups, that's going to be another thing that a lot of people are going to switch out. And it seems like a lot of people have their favorites. Another thing that I see people doing, and this will divide the room, pickup or no pickup. I like them without. I really don't care for pickups that much, especially these floating kinds. They cause sounds and problems. They vibrate weirdly because they're off the body, and it involves another piece of metal, which causes buzzing and stuff like that. So I see a lot of people just take these off and get rid of them. I see other people switch them out and get nicer ones. So that's completely up to you. So some folks might switch out the pickups, maybe take the pickup off or put a better one. You can see where it's rattling right there. There's a lot of play there. And another thing is people might switch out the hardware, which is probably not as many people would, but there's still probably a few people that would. I don't think the hardware is that bad, actually. I think it's reasonable. You know, the saddles, plenty of room in the saddles. So that's probably the least important decision to make. But yeah, as far as getting a nice semi-hollow body for less than a couple of $100, do an hour's work, potentially buy a couple of parts for it, but you don't have to. I think you can make this work. You can't really sneeze at Grote for this. It's pretty good. Got the block inlays. Oh yeah, I had the comment. Somebody says they will not consider a guitar with a bar on the first fret. Absolute no. Doesn't bother me. I don't care. But I know some people care. So if that's you, then don't buy this one. But yeah, I just wanted to show you one right out of the box as it arrives. And you might be put off by all the things I've listed that this needs done to it. But let me tell you, it's as normal as day. On my rack, I've got 2 Super Strats. I've got 2 regular Strat type guitars. I've got a couple of acoustics. I've got a junior guitar. I've got another hollow body guitar. Every single one of them needed this kind of work. And some are budget brands and some of them are more well-known brands. Doesn't matter. You know, when you ship a guitar and it goes through many different zones and different conditions, atmosphere conditions, you're going to get shifting and you're going to need to do setup on these things. So this is pretty normal, but as I just got this out of the box, that's exactly what this guitar is going to need. Nut work, probably fret work, truss rod correction, securing or disregarding of this pick guard, probably new strings because they do sound, that A string sounds dead to me. And there you go. It needs that much work to get it going. And normally I will have done all that when I shoot this video, but I thought it might be instructive to do a video and show you a guitar as it comes in and how I assess it and what I think it needs and how long I think it'll take me to do that. So I'll get it done this weekend. Maybe I'll show it to you again over the weekend or something. But this is a Grote Hollow Body with the twin F-holes, bound F-holes. Very, very, very rough matte finish. Gosh, I can feel the grain lens on that significantly. Sunburst, or a vintage burst as they call them. Cognac burst. There's many names for this. Yeah, needs work, but it'll bake a player. All right, folks. See you in the next one.